Hi.
Hi.
Hi. We're rolling.
Hello. Two cool dudes with two cool pairs of shades.
Hi.
Pat's not the only guy with fucking shades. I've been in these podcasts. I see all the shades he's wearing. Oh, I want to wear some fucking shades.
Andy has found affordable eyewear as well.
Yeah, well, not exactly. 7-Eleven, where do you get off?
Oh, wow.
Everything. Well, we were going to range day, and I didn't want to bring my lady glasses, and I saw these ones, and I've been wanting to get a pair of. What'd you call these? Pit vipers?
I call them fat vipers.
Fat vipers? You were calling them a whole bunch of things, and not fat vipers right before the camera started rolling. You never called them fat vipers.
When you walked in, I said, "Where'd you get those fat vipers?" Yeah, fat viper.
When did that happen?
Fat vipers.
Welcome to another episode of Fat Vipers. That should be our tag team, dude. When we join WWE,
This is how.
we're the Fat Vipers.
This is my impression of a fat viper. You ready?
Dude, we'd be vipers. And you would just see the bubble going all the way up. To be like, that rat he ate whole is escaping.
No,
that's indigestion. Welcome to a brand new episode of Drag the Lake. I'm one of your hosts, one of the two Fat Vipers.
Dude, Fat Viper's grown on me. That might be my new online tag.
That might be the fucking tag team, dude.
Yeah, the Fat Vipers.
Instead of the Road Dogs.
Let's do it with screen cap.
Fat Vipers. Yeah, I got some grease on you. Sorry, buddy. We just always have like butter on our hands.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's spicy ketchup. So don't wipe your eyes.
Oh no, it's fancy. But
don't put that in your eyes.
Welcome to another episode of Drag the Lake. I'm one of the two Fat Vipers, Andy Malfrey, and with me as always, the fattest of the Vipers, Pat George. How you doing? I gotta cut my mouth.
That's how we hiss.
Get out. I'm gonna bite your fucking knees.
I'm doing good, buddy. I got a couple fun topics to talk about, all music related. We actually did music stuff this week.
We only took a break the 1 week. Last week was hella music.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We talked about that fucking Mckenty. Man, that video got a lot of views.
Yeah,
not a lot of feedback.
Not a lot of downvotes either, though. I thought the Mckenty army was gonna come fucking clap our cheeks or something.
When I saw the views, to be honest with you, when I saw the views as quickly as they were there, I was like, oh no.
Well, we are.
I mean, not oh no, but like, all right, well,
we are too getting a little bit of because I thought when we had to change up the schedule again, and we've been actually sorry again this week. My parents were in town. We were all very busy, so the podcast is coming out a little bit late and shit. But when we started posting them on like Saturdays instead of Fridays, because every time we get a fucking day change, everyone's like, "What happened?"
Yeah, where'd it
go? Well, it's like, honestly, that was like the death nail to certain shows back in the day. If they would like when it was like the TV Guide and shit, where you'd have to look up a show.
Yeah, what is our lead-in for this show?
You know what? It's still Simpsons reruns.
Okay. All right. So then we'll be fine. We'll be fine. That is consistent because
we'll be fine, dude.
Those people got to get ready for work. And they don't want to watch the news.
Dude, that hour of Simpsons reruns before dinner was fucking legendary. But no, we had to change time. But no, I've been noticing a lot of people coming back, so thank you much for hanging out with us. We are the number one authority in music. And this actually ties into the one topic I really wanted to start with. We got a bunch, but I really wanted to start one so I could get the angries out of the way up top.
I got you.
But I got to give you'll enjoy this one. You'll enjoy this one because this was a topic you and me weren't necessarily on board with, and now based off recent developments, I think you and me are much more locked in. I'm coming over to your side on this, but I would just like to send out the most politest of fuck yous to the man, myth, the legend, Finn Mckenty. I am over this cunt.
I'm telling you. He is just. It's just a thing about him. He's not like. It's not. He hasn't done anything wrong to me. I didn't know who he was until I met him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel bad saying that, and I'm not trying to big time him. I'm just not up on the fucking news about anything.
Well, this is actually because the reason I'm sending out a polite go F yourself, sir. is because I was a bit of a, I wouldn't say I was a full-blown Finn McGintley fan.
Were you a McGint head?
Yeah, I was not a whole McGint head or anything like that, but I did appreciate the content he put out and stuff like that. And then a lot of times there was a lot of people online who were kind of like riding the fuck Finn McGintley train and we've talked about this a bunch before where God forbid people who are into like hardcore or punk rock or any of that shit, God forbid they find out someone is conservative and listens to punk and hardcore at the same time.
Yeah.
They blow a fucking gasket. And
They're
I was like,
no, you're not supposed to be here. This is for everybody.
yeah. Yeah, right?
Right?
We're like, this is an inclusive area. Get the fuck out based off of your...
Get out of here. We don't like you.
Yeah, get out of here based off things you think.
There's a small number of people we don't want here, and it's one of you.
Yeah, but also everyone's included.
But also everyone's allowed here.
There should be a safe space, but not for you. But no, so... and I always thought, I was like, he did a decent service. He was making all the videos. He had interesting commentary on the subject. There was always this video too where he's not a dumb guy. I would always watch his videos and he would point stuff out. You'd be like, that is an interesting point about the broader scale of music and blah, blah, blah. But recently he had this interview where he's basically come out and he's like, I'm quit. He's like, I don't do YouTube anymore. I was just doing that to make money, which that's not the thing I'm getting like my fucking panties in a bunch about. Yeah. It's not the thing I'm like fucking getting. It was just like so basically he was talking on this interview. He's really just like this LinkedIn bro who was like, he was in advertising and marketing and stuff, and he was figuring out how to like build up his brand. And he was a music dude back in the day and shit like that. And then he decided as part of the way to like build up his brand and shit like that, he saw like no one was talking about these like early 2000s metalcore bands and shit like that.
Yeah.
So he's like making all these videos where he freely admits, he's like, yeah, dude, a lot of those videos I would just go on Wikipedia and like copy and paste and do all this shit. And like, so he had this interview with this dude who works for Octane with SiriusXM. And dude, he legit just in the interview is just like, he's like, I don't like listen to music. He goes, I've never listened to System of a Down.
Whoa.
Which... I'll say this, as a human being,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like a pretentious music guy, but just as a human being, like, I feel like what I'm about to say is Redditor energy, but like, if you haven't listened to System of a Down, like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
And then to be like the music guy, and I think the part that kind of like gets in my fucking ass about this shit is just like, I like with all these like artistic things or in these spaces where it's us like commenting about artistic shit, you see it with stand-up all the time. Like, there's so many people in the fucking way.
Yeah.
And it's just like, especially too, I feel like a little bit of a chump. I'll be straight up. I feel like a little bit of a chump for like defending the guy from time to time. And for him to just so blatantly be like, yeah, I was just kind of like, I don't listen to music.
He's a literal poser.
Yeah, I don't like music and all that stuff.
And he would do, I'm sure he has like a list of something of like why everybody thinks this band's a posers or why this, like, you know what I mean? The thing that bothered me, I think, about his approach was after he was being suggested to me a bunch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably because we talked about him or something like that.
No, it's also, too, because
he's big on YouTube.
Well, that was a big thing about his fucking videos is he was just optimizing the algorithm and shit like that.
But it would be this thing where his things were like, the things I like were, I like our, like, list of, like real life things that actually are, like, true facts that actually came true or proclamations that came true or like things that are like it actually that happened, like the actual, like the where like somebody's done the research and actually did and said like these are the 5 times that a ghost was actually caught on camera or whatever the fuck it was or any of that bullshit.
Oh yeah,
like,
you like ghost videos.
Yeah, like shit like that, like any of that stuff where it's like but his things were always like, oh hey guys, this is what happened to Bad Religion. This is what really happened to Pennywise. Or this is the true sad story about this. And you're watching it and you're like, this is just your opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you did you did research and then from your research you came to this. Now that might be one of those YouTube tricks that people do that are like, oh yeah, just put the like, oh, we found the answers to this. But it's also like, I always like in most of our descriptions and just our approach in a lot of these things is, here is our point of view.
Yeah.
Not, here is the answer. We found the answer to why people don't listen to Anti-Flag anymore. It's because
well, actually, he had a line too that did make me laugh, because there was an element of it where it was like, I'm actually starting to like you in a weird. I mean, there is still a big fuck you energy, because it's just like, I look at our approach to this, and it's like, you and me are like genuine music lovers, and like we see a lot of this annoying shit, and we just want to promote actual good music. We want to like make things better. We want to tell you guys. I told you before, when people like, I saw someone on Twitter was like, you're the reason I listen to Kubla Khan. I go, that like makes the rest of my fucking day better. And it's like, to see, like, it's fine, dude. If you want to do like if you want to be the digital B2B marketing guy and blah 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 blah, like, that's fine. Do your fucking thing. But just to see it like getting in the way of actual music discussion, actual promotion of good art, and then to see like, I mean, just to see he has such like a bitter cunt energy about it, and it's like, that's the annoying part too. It's like, well, you chose to fucking do it, dude.
Yeah.
You chose to fucking use your fucking fake bullshit algorithm learning witchcraft, and you used it on this thing like everyone loves. Like, he's going on about how like fucking annoying everyone and this and that. It's like, yeah, because you put out fucking negativity into the fucking air. You used your fake corporate bullshit on like this awesome artistic I don't know. I got a lot of feelings swirling around, because it just fucking.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The art is subjective, and he was saying like, oh no, I figured it out. I know what it is. I understand this more than you guys.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, he always had this air of like of superiority in any of his delivery. So like, no matter what it is, it wasn't like, oh, I remember the first show I went to. I remember the feeling I had when I got into the pit. He's a guy that doesn't go into the pit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a thing where like, the reason we're the pit police and we got that
why we got these cool glasses.
Why we got the deputization from the pit lords. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is because we're actual people that earn that position. Like, you're somebody that you there is a thing where like being a poser, selling out, all those things are oftentimes subjective as well. We joked about that earlier, about punk being this community that's like, we're inclusive except for you fucking conservatives.
Which then makes exactly. Which then makes the whole term of poser.
What
like,
are you, Christianity, you idiots? You know what I mean? We love everybody except for gays.
Yeah,
like,
except for this one distinct thing about you.
Yeah,
what?
It's the thing that like. And when you yield power in that scene or with that influence, how many people, like, if we are or you are the reason that somebody listens to Kubla Khan, then how many people did he keep from listening to something because his shitty opinion is not actually it's not a real core opinion. It's not a core opinion. You read some articles that were also probably opinion. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or conjecture. Huh?
Yeah.
That's a fucking word.
Yes, dude.
Bro, that's a word.
Nothing I love more than Pat giving him like, put it on the board. For
conjecture. Used in context correctly.
Who even says that?
Right. Journalists. That's who. But like,
no, guys, I don't work for Harvard.
He's some fucking shithead. No. Just a regular old joke.
Just so you know, I don't have a PhD in.
I skirted my student loans from my tech college that I went to.
That would be a great.
Didn't finish.
That'd be a great PhD to write. To be like your thesis statement. I have found the biggest word. Conjecture.
Conjecture. Also.
Oh.
Honorable mention. Honorable. and what was the other thing? God,
do you imagine?
I lost the other one.
Do you imagine, dude? You're on stage,
Mississippi.
I'm just like watching. You're like, oh my god, he's killing it. And you turn back to me, and you're like, watch this. Onomatopoeia.
And I'm not talking about the bathroom.
Don't Ask me to define it.
Or spell it. Or say it
spell
again.
That was the one pronunciation I have.
You got one.
You're just like, wow, I am the smartest man in the world.
I bow to silence and hit my head on the mic.
Well, and just as someone who, because like I've talked about this before with like a lot of the content I make. I'm driven by like, oh, that sucks, but but like what you guys are doing sucks in context of this thing that rules. Let me get in the mix, It's like if you made iced tea and you put too much water in it. I go, you guys don't have enough of the good stuff in it. I'm trying to make it sweet tea out here.
It is about at this point. Is
just a sweet little boy, dude.
It is all about the sweetness. You know what I'm saying? Like you're diluting a scene that doesn't need diluting. Like there's plenty of us. So that I was thinking about this, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of bands that like Bracket's one of them. Bracket's a band that like I really liked growing up, but I kind of felt like they weren't ever big enough that I heard when they were coming around, and we didn't have as much of the online shit and stuff like that when I was going to shows early on. To be able to follow a band, know when they're coming, all this other stuff, and going to the shows and never having money. We talk about all the time with the merch talk.
Yeah,
these bands are coming back through like. And Poison the Well's another one that I wanted to bring that up.
Oh yeah, they're doing their like 20th anniversary.
The opposite of
December. Yeah.
They're playing that in full. These bands are learning that like, our fans, our diehards, have some disposable income now.
Yeah.
Let's go. This is a win-win.
Yeah.
That is a win-win.
Yeah.
But this is a situation where like I don't think that they're exploiting fans or they're diluting a scene or they're giving people exactly what they want. The nostalgia, the fucking opportunity to come enjoy the show, possibly introduce their kids to it or something like that. And somebody like Finn McGinty is like the opposite of that influence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? He's somebody who is having an effect on a scene and fans and stuff like that. And actually people do, I respect what he says, or I'm going to think I'm going to take that as fact. Like, again, he is spouting it as fact and not getting community checked or any of that shit. And he's masquerading, another big word, as a real fan who actually has real opinions.
Pat, come on, dude. We can't just keep giving you PhDs.
I'm stunting on you guys.
Well, no, if for me...
I can't even handle all these tassels.
For me, it does really, too, come back to just, like, people in the way. And there could be a little bit of, like... there could be, like, an undertone of jealousy where it's like, oh, your shit's big and it's hard for me, blah, blah, blah. I'm also choosing to talk about super obscure bands and all this other shit, but like it's that kind of thing when it's like I talk about it all the time. If you go into YouTube right now and you search album review, you are going to get about 20 Anthony Fantano videos before you get anyone else. And it's just because and like you watch the video and 9 times out of 10 it's him being a grumpy cunt about shit because he's jaded and he doesn't give a fuck, which like, and then I'm over here just like frothing with just positivity, like I want you to listen to these bands. I just like stuff, and I want you to like stuff the way I like stuff too. And like I'm like fucking shaking over here, and then just to see these guys who are just like miserable cunts just being in the way, and then to also feel a little bit like a chump because I defended him at times and stuff like that, and then just to find out like you don't like music, you don't listen to System of a Down. It's just like you figured out how to optimize YouTube. I guess technically he is going away, but like for people like that, it's just like, just go away.
I feel like
it's so easy to make money doing so much more other, like if you're in the world of doing like soul sucking work, there's so many soul-sucking jobs that'll pay you great. And go away.
This is, and you can take those talents elsewhere. You can go help a have a fitness thing or do whatever. If you're not going to be the thing anyway, you can take this and put it towards any other thing.
Yeah.
Nobody in the fitness world is gonna hate you because you fucking are giving fitness facts. Or fitness research. But my point is, like, the you say obscure bands and stuff like that. We're talking about bands that we like, that we're fans of, that we are like we would suggest to our friends, something like that. But we also talk about, I feel like, and I don't know if obscure is the good term for this because it's also as far as like our topics or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things that get under our skin are the things that people comment on in the thread. Like they're in the comments. That's what gets the most engagement. Is the weird little pet peeves that we have.
Dude, I literally told
as fans.
I was when we were coming over here for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Steph was super like, we have to be on time, and we ended up being like, actually we ended up being early,
right.
but we left later than we planned. She was like, what were you doing in the bathroom? How long does it take you to piss? I was like, oh, I was over with the piss real quick. I had to fight with a guy on TikTok about Primus.
Right.
Or no. I had to argue with a guy on TikTok about metalcore. Because it's like, I know, you're not supposed to engage in the comments. It's just psychotic people. But I'm also a psychotic guy hosting a podcast.
Right.
And, like, it's so fucking like, dude. When I was at this thing I was telling you before we started recording. I was at this like Christmas convention my mom wanted to go to because she really loves tchotchkes.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding some cool art, so it was a good fun day for all of us.
Yeah.
And I walked by this one stand, and I absolutely adored the name of their company. I didn't buy anything. Their shit was trash. But no, I'm just kidding. I adored the name of their company because it was just called Die Trying. And I go, yeah, man, because, like, I identify with that because it's like, obviously I want to make money and I want to be successful and I want to have the money so I can go do the things I want to do. But also, like, I fucking give a shit.
Yeah.
And, like, you just go through the goddamn day and you're like, hey, I give a shit. And most of the world's just like, that's cool. You're actually a fucking loser. It's just like, it's just like when
I usually go, you may be right.
You might be right, but I can't help it. And my default is to fucking give a shit. So I get really, really fucking irritated when there's just people taking up space.
Yeah. I think the thing about like even the topics in general that I was saying, like, we are coming at this as like not, and even when it's like we don't like it or we don't agree or anything like that, it's almost like the passion that we have from it is not just because of this, like, this is an unpopular opinion or this, or like, it's a, why'd you do that? We turn into, what's his face? The fucking comedian guy, Chicago comedian.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah, why'd you do that? Yeah, like, it's like, I was just listening. I did the research. I looked at Better Lovers.
Yeah.
They did not include those singles from those EPs that we fell in love with. In their fucking album.
You
What?
go
Are
to
they
the show.
I go, what are you charging by the track now?
Hey, Better
You can't
Lovers.
add 3 more songs on your album?
Hey, Better Lovers, you got 15 songs and 20 shirts. Why'd you do
Why'd
that?
you do that? Right. That's like, those are the things. And like, and merch talk is always like a fucking hot button issue with us.
Yeah.
We always talk about that shit. And certain things where even if it's a critique, it's more of a, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Whereas he comes off as this like, oh, I'm dismayed as a fan. And you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I would never say dismayed.
No, and wait, what were you? What were you? Yeah, because you were saying something before, and it jogged a thought
About the fandom.
But yeah, it's just like I'm trying to remember what it was because it was kind of in line with the like, why'd you do that?
Oh, about like the topics that we have.
I don't know. It's gone.
Yeah,
That's fine. It's gone forever.
that's gone forever.
But yeah, no, I don't want to. We don't have to spend too much more time on it because I think
Yeah,
I
but-
personally got out what I wanted to get out. But yeah, it is just. I don't know. There's just. I mean, I'm happy. I'm not trying to sound like a fucking cunt, but it's like I'm happy he's gone. Like if that's what was going on, it's like, well, go fucking.
Look at the rainbow.
Go fucking make $1 bajillion on LinkedIn. Have fun on LinkedIn. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just I get really irritated by people in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's actually talk about. I just wanted to get that out there. Just give out a polite fuck you, good riddance.
Yeah.
But let's actually talk about shit we're passionate about. I do want to make fun of the Joker movie, but you were talking about something interesting about. Which one did you want to bring up? I know you brought up the thing about Rancid.
Oh yeah. Well, it actually would probably, it might lead into what you're talking about.
Oh, so okay.
So I was gonna say where is it? I just saved the post. Here it is. Rancid's and Out Come the Wolves is going to be, let's see, new movie inspired by Rancid's album and Out Come the Wolves begins production. And
Ooh,
in
sorry.
that picture. We could probably, I don't know, I can send that to you or whatever. But
Sorry, I before I actually get into that, I did remember the thing I was going to bring up.
It's an account. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because you were saying about how, like, the music means so much to us, and it's like, rather than just being like, how can I quantize it, it's like, I'm trying to, like, celebrate this shit that I fucking love. So, like, the best example is literally on the way here. You're asking me, how am I doing today? Up until 20 minutes ago, terrible. I was in a horrible mood today.
Nice.
I was like, I was writing. I was trying to do some writing because I was like, what if I wrote a book? And it would, if you read it, you would have thought it was a suicide note. I was not in a good fucking mood today.
Yeah.
And I'm like coming over here, and I just, for some reason, I throw on the Harm's Way album. And it's like, because I'm in a bad mood. That music sounds like a bad mood. Let's play fucking Harm's Way. And I, like, as I was coming here, you know, this one, like, I get a halfway here. This one song comes on that fucking rips. It's the one from the classic Harm's Way video where he's doing the Running Man at This Is Hardcore. That comes on. I get fucking amped up. And just, like, it's like, I don't just listen to this shit because it's fucking fun. I listen to this shit because it, like, pulls me out of this hole I'm in every fucking day.
It's an art that elicits a physical reaction with me,
and
or an emotional, or chemical.
It's like, yeah, dude, I was in such a bad fucking mood today, and then I was bumping Harm's Way on the here, and about 10 minutes out, I was like, I'm going to be shit on the podcast today. And then, like, 10 minutes out, I was just like, it fucking pulled me out of that, and I'm in a great mood, and it's just like, I want to fucking come on here and talk about this shit to, like, yo, you can also be in a good mood, or also just to, like, give props to these fucking bands. So, so to see cunts like that, it just fucking irritates me. That was the last point I wanted to make.
But
anyway.
that's what I'm saying. Exactly. You're not only are you taking up space, but also I do personally find it not even offensive is not the right word, but I find it inappropriate for you to be in this fucking realm.
Well, and
I think you should piss off.
Yeah.
And I think you should go into fucking Bitcoin, you fucking dickhead.
And the irony is, too...
Go to Bitcoin, you fuck.
I mean, nothing wrong with Bitcoin.
No, he's the fuck, not Bitcoin.
Fair enough.
He's the fuck.
But the irony, too, is, like, he's talking about, too, where he's like, I also had to stop doing it because, like, my comment section and on social media was so much bad vibrations. And it's like, don't get me wrong, dude. We talked about the MCR fans last week. I hear you. There's a lot of bad vibrations. But also, like, when you're being a phony, whether it's on YouTube or just in life, if you're just living, whether it's small or large, if you're living as a liar, which is what he was doing, you're putting out bad vibrations. Yeah. So when people may not, like, I think a lot of the people that hated him weren't necessarily, like, hip to exactly why he was a fuck, but they could feel that he was a fuck.
Right.
Like, I remember when I first noticed it when Paramore came out with their last album. They put out the first single, and he had the thumbnail that said "Misery Business Part 2." And I listened to the song. I go, it doesn't sound anything like Misery Business. You're just actively, like, lying. So it's like you're putting out bad vibrations into the world, and it's like that's why you get that shit back. Right. So it's like he's blaming the fucking audience for all the negativity, and it's like, dude, you were the one fostering negativity because you were living your life as a phony.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a good point. No,
I was like, there's one more thing I got to say, and that's what it was. But let's talk about actual good shit.
So, I don't know, maybe. So, like, I'll read this. This is from 23 Punk. Is on Instagram. It says, "An Out Come the Wolves." By the way, Out Come the Wolves movie is a handle now. A film inspired by Rancid's iconic 1995 album of the same name, began production in November, set against the backdrop of the punk scene of the mid-90s. The plot follows a group of restless teenagers who are desperate to break free from their suffocating city. Directed by Danny Paykoff. The film stars Orlando Norman, Spence Moore II, Heidi Grace, Engerman.
Probably a lot of people where you go, oh, that fucking guy.
Yeah. He was in the thing. The script was written by Jason Von Gilmore, I think.
Ooh. Is that one of the girls?
And Jamie Neese, twin brothers known, they don't have the same name. Twin brothers work on Umbrella Academy and Cruel Summer.
They don't have the same.
They don't have the same name.
You're bad at being twins.
Yeah, already fucking it up. So I don't know if it's gonna be. So
what are your predictions on? Or I mean,
So-
we don't have a shitload of info, but I guess just based off of
My gut
movie
instinct?
based off Outcome the Wolves
yeah. So
and Outcome the Wolves.
my opinion on Rancid
They have
has
a different last name.
terrible twins.
I mean, guys, their last names are different.
They're awful twins.
How are you even? You're not even good at being twins.
Even the Matrix ones, they both transitioned.
they
okay?
are
They
honest.
Are
honestly,
honest twins. Real twins.
Honestly, they might be the best at being
Those
twins.
are the best fucking twins in the world. Better than the Olsens.
No, I don't know if
Only
any,
one of the Olsens got addicted to drugs.
brother has any other. No, but they both
Had bulimia.
killed
What? Heath Ledger. Yeah.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah. They're like, you get his neck. I'm gonna get his wrist. It was an accident.
You shove the pills in his mouth. You cover his mouth up.
That's what happened. I don't know what happened. Yeah, allegedly. Before they come after us, they're worse than the Clintons.
Dude,
The Olsens are worse than the Clintons.
The Olsen-
allegedly.
the
I love you
Olsen-
can say anything. Just say allegedly.
dude, that would rule.
Olsens are lizard people. Allegedly.
We just gotta. Can we do a podcast called that? Just allegedly.
Just ... Allegedly.
We just say insane shit.
Just exclamation point ... Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
What's the name of your podcast? Allegedly. But yeah, so I
Wait, you say the ...
yeah.
Allegedly.
Double ellipses. No, I think there's an element to whenever they do you know this like whenever they do like stand up in movies,
Yeah.
it always just is this weird thing. And you know how nobody ever in the history of commercials, TV, movies, anything can ever pretend to play video games or pretend to watch TV. I don't know what that's about.
Dude,
the
that's
direction-
such a good point, dude. No one has ever
Ever.
played video games.
They're always
just-
like this.
Dude,
What the fuck are you doing?
Most
Whoever
of-
does that.
Bro, I remember watching like Nate and Lemaire fight each other in fucking Tekken. They're and like on the screen, it's like da 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 da
Yeah,
da da.
but
da.
in real life, they're
this
like
is
that.
all it is. Yeah, dude.
It's the subtlety. So like that's why I honestly I've thought about it so much. If I knew how to do it, if I knew how to get into this business, I don't know how you become a continuity expert, but that is my goal in life. Because every time I'm watching a movie or a TV show or anything like that, and somebody's watching sports and they're going like this. Who does that?
Yeah.
Nobody cheers like this. You know what you do? You go like this. Fuck you. You go, fuck. You throw your phone through the
Or
TV.
you just hit it with a ah! And then you like clap a shitload. Yeah.
Right. It's like, it's not this. Yeah, exactly. You hard clap under your
Brother,
waist. That's
dude.
what I do. I do this.
Brother, as a drummer, I can't tell you how many times I'm spazzing out watching a drummer. I go, it's not even the same thing.
I'm hearing a closed hi-hat. I'm seeing a fucking ride cymbal. What the fuck is that about?
Yeah, dude. As a drummer, it drives me fucking insane.
So there's a thing about this where like I don't think and I haven't revisited since my youth, but I would venture to say SLC Punk is a cringier movie than I remember. Because I cringed a bit when I was then, and I thought it was cool then.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I think I was like one of those people that's like, oh, they're like, this is so fucking classic, or that movie Kids, or any of those other ones. It just they kind of just creep me out, and Kids was too real in some parts, right? And then SLC Punk, you're just like, nobody talks like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I will say this: you do for a lot of movies, you got to give them a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
I always love to bring. I watched this video. I love to bring this up. I watched this video where this dude was reviewing Whiplash, which those drums were accurate.
I remember you talking about
And dude,
this,
it was so goddamn funny. He's like, I went to music school. Let me tell you if Whiplash is accurate to music school. And everything he said, he's like, yeah, that happens, but they kind of a little overdid it. I go, yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah, they kind of over dramatize it. It is a literal drama, you fuckhead. Hey, dickhead. The reason they dramatized it is because it's a drama.
Dude, get this, dude. The drama is what dramatized
It's a
it.
drama. It was in the drama category.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
It's a drama.
You know what the best movies are? The ones that are 100% accurate to life.
I don't know. I like Shaun of the Dead, but they were having a laugh. It's a comedy.
Yeah, that's like what it's people. You're like, dude, honestly, if Michael was a real boss, he'd get fired. Yeah. That's why it's entertaining.
Duh.
But no, SLC Punk's a hard one for me because that was probably like one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Yeah.
So like whenever I watch it, I just have good memories. But
like
I'm trying to think of an. Oh, you know which one aged like fucking milk was? You ever watch the movie Grind? That was like, fucking, we're skateboarders. And we're
No,
like,
I don't think I've ever seen Grind.
yeah, dude, it had a decent soundtrack. It had like, dude, it had like Less Than Jake and Little Kim on the soundtrack.
What?
Yeah, it was a pretty
90s. Whoa.
But yeah, it was just like, it was one of those. It was one of those movies where you watch it, and I wasn't like a big skater, but like I knew skaters and shit, and I watched that movie to be like, I don't think anyone who wrote this skateboarded.
I was big. That's why I wasn't a skater.
I wasn't a skater
no
because
balance.
every time I'd get to the ramp, I'd be like, no, and I'd just go to the side.
No. Yeah, next time, guys. I'm gonna do it next time.
I remember, dude, I tried to do a heel flip and it rocked me in the nuts. And I go, no more heel flips, no more skateboarding.
I genuinely admire people that can do even just simple like skateboard tricks because it's like there's balance, there's all that other shit. But I feel like even skateboard movies, there's probably people that watch movies where they dramatize their profession or their hobby or their whatever, and they're like, this is bullshit. But it's like. But like they never seem to get it super right.
Yeah.
In a lot of these SLC Punk, maybe just because I did not experience that personally.
Yeah.
But it was also because it's also one of those very specific stories. I just have a feeling it's gonna be very similar to that of this like, oh, it's hard out here in 1995, and you're just like,
well,
I know.
I think the point. Why I like SLC Punk, like growing up in the suburbs, that's how I could like relate to it because it was like. Because, no, that's the funny part of the movie is there is a lot of cringy shit.
Yeah.
And then the Matthew Lillard – by the way, SLC Punk spoiler alert. Matthew Lillard's character finally meets, like, a normal chick. Like, he's been dating this, like, strung-out punker chick the whole time. So, like, the whole crazy self-inflicted punk personality feels normal.
Yeah.
Then he meets a normal chick at the party, and she's like, why do you do your hair like that? And
he's just like, you're right, it's gay.
I
got a job at a bank now.
It's actually super fucking gay. I'm going to go be a lawyer.
Like immediately.
But,
and that's why I'm like,
but she like throws out, she's like, well, she's like, you're not really being unique because you're kind of dressing like everyone else in this scene. And he's like, huh? What? Hold the damn phone. You know what? I'm going to change my whole shit just for this chick I just met. But yeah, that's
the twist because usually chicks do that.
That's kind of the point of the movie is he's acting like this because he doesn't want to feel like a poser, and then at the end of the movie he's like, I've been a poser this whole time.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm sure the movie's cringy, but
so my other thought was
and
this is what's going to bring it in there is the only way it could be worse than that would be if it was a musical.
Yeah.
And I do see that as a possibility. They did not announce that.
No.
Obviously. And I'm pretty sure they would announce it if they intended on it being a musical because they think that people want that apparently.
Well, you know what the big part too about why like punk rock shit in movies doesn't work is it's a big thing is if they want to get it right, they got to get the costumes right. Cuz a lot of that stuff looks like like when I'm trying to think, it looks like you just picked everything up at like a fucking Hot Topic or something, and it looks like in a lot of those movies, it just looks like people wearing an outfit. I will say,
they have the casualties as the continuity experts.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's just like a lot of times in those movies, they'll show a guy and it like he has. Like, most punk people are, like, fucking dirty people.
Yeah.
You know, if you're being, like, a real punk, or not even going as far as crust punk, but if you're, like, being a real punk, it's not like you have, like, a new nice jacket. Like, that's your jacket. You've been wearing it the whole time.
Yeah.
It looks fucking raggedy. Like, that's what I actually liked about SLC Punk. Like, Heroin Bob and whatever Matthew Lillard's character name was. I was, like, as cringy as the movie could be, I was like, that is kind of what, like, those are kind of dudes you would see.
Yeah.
Like, and they looked like, their outfits looked like they wore them every day. I think
that's why I didn't like SLC Punk when I was young was because I was like, yeah, it's a good movie and everything, but everybody all these punk people like this, and you're all also this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're all like,
oh well,
this is like your this is your quintessential punk movie, and it's pointing out what you guys
they're
all
completely
are.
missing the message.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, that's the age-old
Like, dude,
story.
you like hip hop like 2 weeks ago, and now you have a fucking leather. First of all, I'm going, how did you afford a leather fucking jacket?
Well, that's always, dude. That's always the fucking thing about punk rock.
How do you afford the most expensive things?
Punks are supposed to be these dudes who don't have money and they just get drunk all the time and shit like that. And if you see the guys who actually had the proper uniform back in the day, it's like, I would never dress like that because I never had the fucking money to it. Not that I didn't grow up
in L.A.
Yeah, I didn't grow up poor or anything, but I still never had the money to like wear all that fucking shit. That shit wasn't cheap.
Right. So like that's the thing is like it just kind of like so this 1995, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember. SLC Punk was probably 98 or 99. Maybe I feel like let me.
That's
check
a good
it out.
question, actually.
Because like so like
I wanna
people
say
were listening to this album, they're watching this movie, and they're living this life, and you're like, oh, you're all like, it just created a bunch of posers.
Well,
like
that's
a bunch
what
of people that don't get this fucking movie.
Well, have you ever seen those lists of like great movies that the masses?
1998.
Okay, that makes sense because I wouldn't. I think I saw it around. I think I saw it when it was on DVD, so I would have saw it like a year or two after it came out.
This was so popular because that got so much mainstream attention. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, you guys are missing the point.
But that goes back to what I was gonna say. Is like, have you ever seen those lists of like great movies where like the mass of the fan base misses the point of it?
Yeah.
It's like Fight Club.
Well, I was just gonna say Fight Club. I was gonna say most of the people that have seen Fight Club have never been in a fight.
Yeah, and or just in general, they don't even like understand that it's like, yeah, it's not just about fighting in a fucking basement. It's about like what's that thing Rogan says? It's like the silent fuck.
The silent fuck.
Yeah, the silent fuck.
That's when your parents are staying over.
It's about fucking your wife real quiet when your parents are over.
Shut the fuck
No, it's the silent desperation of like I forget what the fuck it is. It's that silent desperation quote he always says, but it's like, yeah, it's like the reason dudes identify with that, but they don't consciously realize why they're identifying it was like, yeah, I think it's like you're living your life where you're locked into a certain system and you're not allowed to like express yourself in the way you want to be.
Right.
And it's the way that they find like a freedom in that moment is by punching each other in the face of a basement.
This is their pottery class. This is what everybody this is why all those guys are going to jiu-jitsu and finding out it's really good for them right now. They found their fight club. That's their fight club.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't have to be punching Jared Leto in the mouth.
Or it could, but
it could be.
It could be. If that was part of my fight club, I'd join it.
We are not consenting to people punching Jared Leto.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Wait, does that mean? Yeah. Oh.
Do you? I know we don't have a lot of information on the movie, but I'm trying to like.
I started following the account, so.
Oh, okay. But no, I'm trying to think with like the information we have, like what's the potential it's going to be good or bad? Because the second I saw the headline, I just, any version of this in the past, I feel like has not gone well.
Well, yeah.
But the thing that gives me hope is no one's asking for this.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like, so
that's where the potential for it to be good, because it's like, it's not like they're hopping on a trend.
Yeah.
It's just, they're like, oh, we got some money together. Let's go make that Rancid movie.
Yeah. I'm just there's some pretty cool people in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're absolutely right, by the way.
What?
Everybody in this, I'm like, oh shit, I know that guy. Oh shit, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember a single fucking person's.
People. There's like the guy from Breaking Bad.
Oh
Gus.
shit.
There's the guy from. I watched that show. There's a show called Here, I think it's called, or From.
Wait, they're all in it?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's fucking that's a dude from that's everyone in this movie.
Yeah.
That's the dude from that's the dude from Sons of Anarchy.
Which one?
The one on
Charlie
the right,
Day?
Opie. He played Opie, and he was really good in that.
My wife says like look like him kind of.
Actually, and Sons of Anarchy. Well, I hope that made you feel good. Sons of
That didn't.
Sorry, I got myself into a good mood, so now I'm trying to hurt people.
Yeah. Now you're bringing me down.
Sorry, I just Finn McGinty you. My fault. That's the new
Yeah.
term for
I will.
unnecessary bad vibrations.
I just McGinty'd this.
Sorry, dude. I fucking McGinty'd you. My fault.
Yeah, no McGinty, bro.
My fault, dude.
That's the episode title. No McGinty.
No McGinty. No, actually, Sons of
better than no
Anarchy.
Diddy.
Sons of Anarchy is a really good example of what I was kind of saying before with the outfits. And if you watch Sons of Anarchy, it's very funny because it's all these like classically trained actors and shit like that.
Go to the clubhouse.
But they did you watch it though? No. They do a good. Now you're McGintying me. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, no McGinty, but that show sucks,
they
dude.
do. I will say this: the dude who played Jax, the main guy, he's from like. He's hilarious because he's from like a weird part of England where like they don't
super proper, right? Isn't it?
Well, he's got a weird accent that doesn't line up with like anything else you ever heard. Yeah. And then
it's like
when
if somebody taught a dog a British accent.
A little bit, yeah.
Balk, balk.
Balk, balk, balk.
Balk, balk, balk.
Oh,
I don't know why he turned into a Southern gentleman. It just comes out Southern, you see?
But no, but at the same time, he's a great actor, but he can't fully do any accent.
Yeah.
So it just sounds weird every time. So his character didn't sound great. But all the characters in the show, like, they sound good, they seem legit, and then their outfits, they actually look like bikers.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, it's easy to, like, forget, like, oh, I'm just watching a bunch of actors who probably aren't that fucking tough. Except there was one bald Hispanic dude in the show who was, like, a legit gang member. But besides that, they're all, like...
one.
What?
They always need one. Like in The Sopranos, like the Pauly Walnuts.
Yeah. They always get one to, like, be
monster,
like... So when they're on set, they're like, oh, actually, I wouldn't say that stupid gay shit.
Not the fishes. The fishes. Okay. Can we take that again from the top?
He was just on set reminding him, like, guys, we're retarded Italians.
You're not actually going to be sleeping. I'm planning on killing you. But the intention, right? The words I'm going to say you're sleeping. It's a metaphor, really.
But yeah, no, a big thing for me with the movie is like a big thing that takes you out with all the like. So it doesn't seem like a shitty 80s film. They gotta get the you're good. They gotta get the outfits right. But I'm curious to see it because it's like that album isn't just like the best Rancid album in my opinion. It's like one of the best punk albums ever.
And like it's a very good, but it's also it was definitely a swing at it was a mainstream attempt, right? It was, well, Green Day is so famous, and they're from the same place. And then Tim Armstrong picks up his guitar, plugged it in, they turned his amp down, and then they said, let's fucking go. And they fucking put out a...
Tim Armstrong picks his guitar up, doesn't play it. He's
like... turns it around.
And just fucking... He's like, is there any way I can get this strap looser?
It's just it's a great album.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing, but, like, I feel like it inspiring a movie to me is it's just going to be a lot of heroin and it's going to be a lot of drama and it's going to be a lot of bullshit.
Well, if they and this will tie,
and it's going to be. And I think this is the part that I'm not excited about. Right?
Yeah.
This is the thing that I'm a little frustrated is the walk the line aspect of this. The what's another one? Ray aspect.
Yeah.
Or any of those other ones where it's like this. Hey, oh that's blah blah blah. Hey, that's they have a band pretending to be Black Flag on stage or like shit like that. And we're like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the people, because like they have like, oh, it's blah blah blah. It has a cameo as Elvis in the movie, and you're like,
yeah.
Oh, because Johnny Cash played with Elvis. It's like that shit. Like I don't know if it's gonna be about but there's gonna be these kids at a show somewhere. I'm not like, to me. I didn't experience that, and it's just I wasn't at those shows or in that scene, and I think they're going to add a lot to it, and I think there's going to be a lot of people, I think, that are going to make this movie their identity, like they did SLC Punk.
No, is it a movie or is it a show?
Movie.
It's a movie, okay. Yeah, potentially, because we are hitting a good pocket where, from a fashion perspective, we are hitting a good pocket where, like, the punk fashion in general could potentially fucking come back. Yeah. And actually, this ties into, because a while ago when they announced that Joker 2 was going to be a musical, we were talking about that, and dude, this was funny. Like, like obviously we all, even if you didn't see it, everyone knew it was like one of the worst movies ever. And then literally this week, it's just immediately on HBO Max for free. And you're like, well, that's not a good sign. Usually there's the month where it costs you like $20 to rent it.
Yeah.
Immediately on HBO Max for free. And they did what I'm praying to God they do. I hope this Rancid movie is like inspired by the themes in Out Come the Wolves, and you kind of like, you know, it's about punks. It's I hope it's not like, here's the story of Rancid. I hope it's like inspiring it, and so they talk about the themes of being a punk back then, and you know, Ruby Soho pops up at one point and you hear all the fucking songs and shit. That'll be I mean, you're not gonna get if it's called an Out Come the Wolves, you're gonna hear at least like 5 songs.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know. Just make the movie, and then like when you're doing the press tour about it, just be like, it's heavily inspired by an Out Come the Wolves. Don't call it Out Come the Wolves, and because then now I'm gonna be like, oh, it's a version of like the stories told and the songs on this album.
Yeah,
and like one of the characters is named Ruby.
yeah, there is.
You know,
yeah,
it's gonna be that shit. And it's like,
no,
I'm trying to be punk movie.
I'm trying to be positive about it, but with once
you give it the name, then you're
for certain there will be a moment where they'll be like minding their own business, and then a ruckus will be happening in the corner, and they'll be like, who's that? And then the bartender will come out, throw his fucking towel down. He's just like, God damn that troublemaker.
Yeah.
Ruby Soho.
No. Ruby, we're going to send your ass back to Soho. That's why they call her that.
That was the best part.
And it's like, she's never been a real person.
Well, that was the shit where the Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I love that movie just because I'm obsessed with NWA, and I didn't realize until the second or third viewing that movie actually kind of sucked. Like, dude, they literally had a scene in that movie where they were just out minding their own business, and the cops come. They're like, "Hey, are you guys black and outside?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey, why are you being so black?"
Outside the studio, right?
Yeah, they're outside the studio, and then they get like roughed up, and they're all pissed off about it, which, yeah, rightfully so. And then they go back in. They're like, "Man, I'm mad at those police." And the one guy's like, "Yeah, fuck the police." And then Eazy's like, "Hold the phone.
Hit record.
I mean, I got something."
No. And then this is in the preview. This is probably what we saw. Yo, play that back.
Dude.
And they starts playing the beat again, and they go, say it again.
And the funny part was, I was watching a documentary a while ago. You know what inspired Fuck the Police? They were driving down the highway. NWA was shooting people with paintball guns, and then they got arrested for it.
Yeah.
The police were right that time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was not an injustice. You're breaking the law.
You guys were
That's
being
really
annoying as
you're
fuck. You're being very dangerous. Dude, they did that with, they had Snoop Dogg, which, I forget the dude's name. He's the skinny black dude who fucking rules in there. He's in Atlanta.
Snoop Dogg.
Rules. No, the actor. No, it's the skinny black dude in Atlanta that like, and he was in fucking what was the voice where he was a telemarketer and David Cross did his voice at times?
Yeah.
He's fucking amazing, and dude, his Snoop Dogg impression
was in the T movie, right?
I don't remember. You're probably right.
Wake Up or something. Go to Sleep. What's the name? The Jordan Peele movie. Don't Wake Up. Or
oh
get out
yeah.
Get out.
Get out.
That's it.
Get the hell out.
No, get out.
Hey.
No. I'm saying, Andy, get the fuck out.
Who's the Jordan Peele movie? Hey, scram, black guys.
Get the fuck out of here. Not around here, buddy.
But there's a scene. There's a scene where he's playing Snoop Dogg and he's hanging out with Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre's just like, I just can't figure out this tune. And then he's just like, wait, let me get on that. Immediately just I forget which song it was, but immediately just hits like one of the most iconic melodies in a Snoop Dogg song.
Wait a minute.
Hold the damn phone.
Boom, boom.
Which a lot of those not to get nerdy, but a lot of those melodies were just them sampling, which I'm not shitting on sampling. I hate people that go like sampling's not an art, but a lot of those melodies were just them sampling like old dope songs.
Yo, is this the new episode? That's the next episode.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't have time for this, guys. I gotta smoke weed every day. Wait, what? Wait,
this is gold, guys.
This is gold.
These are like 400 songs you're writing.
God, California, I'm loving.
It just shows you how easy it is to write some songs sometimes. But no, I think there's a weird thing where like I have a bit about it where I'm like if you ever see a movie, if you ever see based on true events, you can guarantee it happened, but not like this.
Yeah.
Like it never happened like this. Like those are the things. And like a good example I always use is in like the Queen movie where they're like, we just need a song to let our fans know that we will rock them.
It's crazy.
And then you're like, and then they just go boom, boom, clap, and you're like, oh, we got it.
What's the writing room like for that one when you like just write that line down you're just like you just write that line down and you're like, dude, just say it out loud one time. You don't realize that's fucking retarded?
Yeah, they film it, they edit it, they keep that scene in, and they go, we need that in our movie. Like there's other scenes that are cut that are probably like a more about the love between him and men and women. But also it's just this thing where
he did like butt anyway.
It doesn't fat bottoms.
Fat bottom girls. Wait. Back to the original reference. Fat bottom girls, you make the rocket world go round. Allegedly. I don't know personally. The thing I was going to say too is like, because I was segueing into the thing about the Joker, where the Joker is the easy way to like make this shit go bad. Where like we were joking before, like, is that Ruby Soho? Yeah. Like they just, dude, Joker was. It's like, have you seen it?
No,
dude. If you got some time,
watch it, yeah.
At least watch the first hour. You're not like, it's bad, but you're not ready for how silly bad it is, because it's like, dude, the way
is it like, so it's big swing bad. Like it's like one of those things where you're like, sometimes you're watching something and you're like, wait, this is a critically acclaimed movie, and you're like, that's how he chose to talk.
Well, so dude, that was the funny part. The way that they throw this, I thought they were gonna do like, Joker's gonna have a bunch of like dream sequences or psychotic breaks, and they'll do like a bunch of dance numbers. Brother, they don't even do that.
Yeah.
It's just Joaquin Phoenix actually trying to sing, and it's just shitty. And the part that irritated me is they just make up the fact that like, oh, the Joker actually loves old big time songs or big band songs, and you're like, no, he doesn't.
Yeah, but also, hey, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Hey, director and also writers, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care what Joker likes.
Dude, they make him into such a fucking pussy because they're watching some old movie from the 50s, and he's watching it with Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn's like, hey, let's sneak out and like we'll fuck and smoke cigarettes. And he's like, shh, I really want to watch this. I love this song. And you're like, that's not the Joker really doesn't do that, dude.
Also, if I may, why didn't you ever mention it once in the first movie?
Yeah.
Why didn't you ever bring this up before?
It's the like weirdest.
It's never been a part of his character.
But this goes, and I'm not just trying to shit on the Joker too. It like goes back to what can make this fucking And Out Come the Wolves movie bad, where it's
That's
like,
what I'm saying,
don't like they just shoehorn music in for no fucking reason.
When you call it Out Come the Wolves instead of but not and Out Come the Wolves, so it's a little different. It doesn't matter. Most people probably accidentally call it Out Come the Wolves anyway.
Yeah.
And not only that, but now you've attached this subject matter that it's like when people make movies, like people always bitch about, oh, the book's better than the movie, blah, 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 any of that bullshit. I've always said, like, if you want to make so many different things, call it something else. Like, if you want to change so many different things, like, to me, when people go like, this is a fake character, it can be anything. They're not supposed to be anybody or whatever.
Yeah.
No real person ever did this. If it's comic book people, when they change the race or the sex or something.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I argue most of the time those are the characters that should be changed the least, because they are literally, that's what they were.
Well, and it goes back. It actually goes back.
Kind of, you're going to just make now people have to compare them. So when people are watching the movie, they'll be like, well, that sucks. It had nothing to do with the album, or it has too much to do with the album. If you just called it something, call it. I'm going to pick a track name. You go. I apologize. I interrupted you. I'm going to pick a track name that's better as a title.
It goes back to
from that album.
It kind of goes back to the thing I was saying before about Finn Mckenty, where he's talking about like, oh, there was so much bad vibrations, and you're like, well, stop putting bad vibrations out, and then it's like, people get mad where they'll be like, oh, it's like, oh, why is everyone complaining? Oh, you're mad about a black woman's in the movie? And it's like, why is everyone just complaining about these superhero movies? And it's like, stop fucking with them. There's no reason to like. It's a whole have your cake and eat it too situation where there's a reason you pick that property because it already had a fan base and it already had a good story. Yeah. But now you think you're better than it, so you're just gonna be like, well, I'm gonna make that person a woman, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna include. It's like, dude, you have an endless supply of comic books, and you're just like, I'm just going to include a storyline that's never happened, that's not consistent with the fucking character at all.
Here's a movie that I'd rather see than Out Come the Wolves. Journey to the End of the East Bay.
Oh, and honestly,
that's a way more interesting title. It's from this album. You could also call it Lock, Step, and Gone.
It might be,
Olympia
honestly...
WA.
No, honestly, like, because
The 11th Hour is a good...
Like... We do have minimal info, but the way they're initially starting this by, like you said, calling it an Out Come the Wolves, it does set you up to be sort of not having low expectations for it.
All the criticism now will be coming with comparisons to the album.
No, because as you're saying right now, like that would actually be smarter to what either one of those you just said. Yeah. It would actually be smarter to call it that and then be like, oh, this is inspired by who we were at the time and the album and blah, blah, blah.
The time period in which this album was written and released was incredibly influential in my childhood. So this movie is heavily inspired by that time period.
Yeah.
Just say that time period. Because that's the thing is the 90s are hot right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's loving talking about the Menendezes and the John Bonets and all the other dumb fucking people that died.
Actually, John Bonet's was a decent band.
Yeah.
They're like an obscure mathcore
the Jean
band.
Bonnet, yeah. The Jean Bonnet Ramsey.
No, you're actually making me think like the two directions you could go with it. Because I'm thinking too, another problem with music and movies is they have like, did I tell you about the M. Night Shyamalan movie I just watched?
Trap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody did the best recreation of that movie, and it was, hey, honey, I'm going to get us some popcorn. Hey, do you want a T-shirt? I wish I could give them credit, but that was one of the best, like, fucking short little impressions. Like, that's exactly what that movie is.
So it was this movie where Josh Hartnett plays a serial killer who takes his daughter to a concert, and throughout the whole movie, it's him realizing that the concert is a trap, and he's trying to get out without them like arresting him and stuff. But like throughout the movie, I didn't realize this till afterwards. Someone told me, but the musician that they're watching in the music is M. Night Shyamalan's kid.
And she's an actual aspiring singer. Yeah.
And there's actually like a full album, and then you realize the movie is also a way to get you to hear her album because the movie, like. I mean, I'll just be straight up. The movie's retarded, but
it's not.
It's fun.
It's not offensive, but it's not like it's not.
Well, there's so many holes where you're like,
it's so stupid. Yeah.
Like there's one part,
fucking one merch guy where he's just like, yeah, sure, come on back here. They're looking for somebody. They told us not to trust anybody or take them anywhere, and you're just like, he's explaining what he's not supposed to be doing right now. But nobody is that dumb. Nobody is that dumb,
dude. He literally goes, he's like, but I realize you're a bit of a family man, and I respect that. So I'm gonna let you walk around back for half an hour.
I'm going to make you the one exception, and hey, where'd my badge go? So bad. And how does that guy not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many unbelievable, stupid holes in it.
The best one is when she does the song where they actually use that rapper Russ. And she has the one song where there's like a rapper comes in, but he comes up from the floor.
Yeah.
And so the floor opens up. And then he walks out and stays open for a little bit. And then Josh Hartnett goes to his kid. He'd be like, wouldn't it be fun to go down there? And she looks at him like, are you fucking retarded? Like, you want to just walk through the mechanical stage?
Yeah, the thing we are not allowed to be here for. And also the dangerous part of it.
You see a fucking floor pop up.
Yeah.
You see part of the floor pop up. And there's all the gears and the mechanics. And Josh Hartnett's like... as a mastermind serial killer who's never been caught, my genius idea is like, do you want to go into the mechanics?
Yeah, he's acting like and nobody is like he meets the description Exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody has been briefed. This is how ineffective our FBI and because it was the FBI that was doing the sting. That's how fucking stupid and inefficient. That's the only believable part is how stupid and unprepared everybody was for this one and only reason this thing was happening. This guy who makes the perfect description that's sweating and going, hey, so can I get my daughter backstage? Hey, don't talk to her though. But like she's sick. And also like this guy seems pretty desperate. Also, nobody else is doing that now.
I realized what M. Night Shyamalan should have been doing the whole time. The dude should have been making fucking cartoons or animes. Because if you take... Because his movies are fun to watch. But if you take his movie structure and put it into a cartoon or like an anime setting... That's
the only way it makes it believable.
Yeah, well, like you let a lot of shit go, which ironically he took an anime and made it live action and fucked it up.
Was that Unbreakable?
No, Airbender.
Oh yeah,
Last Airbender.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Dude, yeah. I remember I was about to watch it, and dude, like the first 10 minutes of it is he makes you read for like 10 minutes, and I go,
I'm out.
That's insane. Like I'm not trying to be like, oh, if a movie has subtitles, I mean. Yeah, well, sometimes I'll bail, but like,
I am being that.
I'm not even trying to be the guy who's like, well, I don't watch subtitle movies. It's like, no, don't make me read a fucking pamphlet before the movie starts.
And if you're gonna do it where I'm not reading later on, just make it not reading the whole time.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like how every movie of like Roman soldiers and shit like that, they all have really thick British accents, and you're like, is that how Romans talked?
Oh,
everybody in every history movie the people in Egypt, they all had they had English accents, did they?
Yeah, right.
Cool.
They
also Star Wars too. Everybody's got fucking British accents.
Like, also everyone, according to Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the American one. I watched that one the other day. That one is everyone in there is American, but they have Swedish accents.
Yeah. It's cool.
They all speak English.
Real fun.
Yeah. But the main reason I brought up that I love trashing shitty movies. The main reason I brought that up too, though, was like there is a way where you put music in a movie where you watch it and you're like, this song's going on for too long. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I have seen movies where. Like they did it with the Elvis movie. I think they did it with. I haven't seen the Johnny Cash one in a while. And then, what's the movie with the fake fucking doo-wop band?
Fake doo-wop band.
Yeah, they're like a 4-piece doo-wop band. It's like it's like based off of Buddy Holly and shit. And it's real the Thing You Do, I think it might be called.
Oh, That Thing You Do?
That Thing You Do, yeah. That one's really good, and they play it.
That's based on Buddy Holly?
I believe so.
I don't think so.
I think it is.
None of them die. Spoiler alert.
It's based off someone who does that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that one, they play a lot of music in it. It's a really good
Spartacus.
fucking
movie. That's what it was. I was trying to think of that guy's name. Spartacus.
It's based off Cardi B, I think. But no, in that one, they play a lot of music in it, and it's actually fun and enjoyable. So it's like there's a way to do it, but in my mind, you either go, here's the story of Rancid, or you go, you should have done what you said, call it like the fucking 5th song on the album.
Take a track that's not, something like that from the album and make it about the whole time
and then
period.
Make it loosely based off of Rancid or just the scene at the time. Although a really cool slasher film would be Maxwell Murder. That would be a sick dude, get
if this was like also tied in with like Son of Sam or something.
Dude, no, you get like some cool British guy and just have him like
Oi then, mate.
Doing some John Wick thing.
The name's Maxwell.
Yeah. But I want this so desperately to be good, but
I like the Instagram is already bothering me, like, because like every announcement that I've seen of it is a picture of how many of their little director chairs they have, and it says "Out Come the Wolves" on it in the font, and it's like they're just too excited about like not the story.
Yeah,
they're just like, look, we got chairs and it has the name of the movie on it. It's like, oh, cool.
Well, that's also too with everything needs a social media presence,
right? Yeah.
So like just.
And like they showed like the set. I don't know if it's a real place or if it's a set, but it kind of just like looks like a set to me. is like that's got like spray paint all over the walls, and it's fucking and it's like
dude,
and a very clear NoFX logo, like you know what I mean, like it's just kind of
well, that's the problem too with like doing punk rock shit in movies
or behind the scenes, you know what I mean, like do you know what I'm saying, like it's just kind of like yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know.
It's
all in the editing.
With a lot of the punk rock shit, it's always about people who go like, wouldn't this be cool? It's never.
Did I ever bring that up to you about like on like TV and stuff like that? Whenever they wanted to make the teen on like the sitcom, like on Roseanne, or there was a couple other bands, or a couple other shows where like the kid was a goth kid.
Yeah.
I think it was Home Improvement, and they put like melancholy posters on his, and I'm like, that's not goth.
Dude, you know what? The one they did the best was AJ Soprano, because he was into like nu metal. They made him a nu metal kid really well. No, but the thing about like punk rock is like most people get into punk rock because they're like, oh, that's a fun thing. You can just fucking hang out and drink beer, and you're like, I don't like doing regular shit.
Yeah.
So it's like you're never gonna get someone in film and TV who could accurately depict the punk rock shit. Like I said before, I think SLC Punk did a pretty good job visually and everything and shit like that. I don't know what it's like being a punk in Salt Lake City, but
in the 80s.
In the 80s or late 90s or whatever. But I think they did a good job on depicting it and shit. But a lot of times it's just like you said, like dude, most of those, like all that. The first thing that made me kind of go like, oh, fuck, was I was like, yeah, all the spray paint looks really nice.
It's really nice spray paint.
Yeah.
Everything's really clear.
Dude, like, did you ever go to, I think the best example is, actually, we should message an Out Come the Wolves. You should look up in Montclair, New Jersey, the Meat Locker. That was like a punk venue where you walked up to it and you're like, where's the venue? And then you kind of like, oh, it's over there. And then you walk in. And Montclair's a really nice town, but then when you start walking down the steps, like a real punk venue, you should feel a little uncomfortable walking into it.
Yeah. It should smell like bleach.
Yeah, there should just
something that bleach is covering, but just barely.
Yeah, and
it's a hefty, big smell, but it's very bleach forward.
And it should be very obvious that this wasn't meant for band to play, but you kind of looked at it and you're like, oh, yeah, the band could go over there.
It ain't up to code.
Yeah, it might be a good, yeah. Look up the Meat Locker in Montclair, New Jersey. Yeah, just, that was like, okay, no,
Your staff should be put in a little bit of, your crew, the film crew should be in a little bit of danger functioning there.
That looked like a fucking punk venue and like a Disney
like a
show.
Stage.
Yeah, it looked like a Disney show.
Yeah, so I just like, they're like, whoa, we're at the skate park. We better go catch the punk rock show later on before we go catch our heroin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're like,
yeah.
I hope it's good. I'm worried, but I am happy to hear that it's not being hailed as a musical. But I know that there's going to be lots of those like, oh my God, they had that scene where they're at Gilman Street and Circle Jerks are in the background. And you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Just too many references. I don't.
They're just walking by. They're like, who are those guys? Just a big circle of jerks.
Whoa. the merch guy goes, takes a Sharpie.
There's just a scene where they're like, oh, they've just killed Kennedy. Kennedy is dead. And then there's one guy's like, what did you say?
Yeah. Did someone mention dead Kennedys?
I'm going to start a band.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I hate origin stories. God. I hate origin stories.
Dude,
so
you know what?
This feels like it could possibly. I just want a group of youths in the East Bay at this time period, living in that world. Maybe they go to shows, maybe they don't, but those people. I want to hear about those people. Dude. I don't want the ref. I don't want the fucking. Oh, look, it's so fun. Oh.
Yo, also, you're saying about. I was actually thinking about that driving down here. I hate origin stories too.
Yeah.
And I wish more filmmakers would realize an origin story is completely underrated. You know, like I've been watching a lot more superhero shows and shit like that. You know what every great superhero show starts with?
Huh.
just the guy in the middle of him doing the cool shit he does.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally,
Batman
I
stopping
started
a robber. Right
I
in the
started
middle.
rewatching Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
The first episode of the show starts with Batman in costume chasing Catwoman.
Right.
And then eventually they'll let you know his parents died.
Yeah, they don't go like, oh, and he's really sad about this, and then this happens, and then that happens, and then this is
That was always the annoying part of a lot of superhero movies. They'll be like, all right, you know the cool shit you want to watch in this movie? Give it an hour. It's going to take a while because we got to tell you everything that fucking happened to this guy.
Sorry, Andy, I've transformed into an evil dictator now. I've got my little kitty cat.
Hell yeah. All right. I think we did it.
We will make them pay.
Great podcast. See you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.